Hey, good morning, everyone. Pastor Carl again, here with the word for the day. We're doing our series on Psalms, and some of the things that I love about Psalms is that they just bring such comfort to us, and as they talk about intimacy and a relationship with God. This psalm that I'm going to share this morning is, I think, for many people, their favorite. It is a Psalm of David, who we love, a man after God's own heart. And he experienced such a close and intimate relationship with the Lord. You can really hear his heart in the words of this psalm. It's Psalm 139. And especially when I'm in a time when I just feel like I need some comfort from God, this is one of my go to psalms. And I'm just going to read a few parts of it. It's rather long. And I want you to be listening for a few things here. One of the things that is most precious to us about our relationship with God is not only knowing him, but to be known by him. There's a part of loving someone that involves not only coming to know them, but to be known by them. Karen and I have been married 40 years now, and it didn't take very long for us to see our warts, if you know what I mean, and know that we have shortcomings in areas that are just less than perfect. Let me say it that way. And yet, even knowing each other at that depth, we still love each other. The, when we get married, we say for better, for worse, or richer, for poor. And there's some worse in marriage, as of course, and there's also just in any relationship there is parts of that. And to be known by somebody and still be loved by them is, I think, really a wonderful thing. And that's what I hear in this psalm. I'm going to read a few parts of this, and I want you to listen for that intimacy of relationship between God and David, and hopefully God and you and God and I. It says, O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thoughts from afar. You comprehend my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word on my tongue, O Lord, but you know it altogether. You have hedged me behind and before, and laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend in heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall fall upon me, even the night shall be as light about me. Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you, but the night shines as the day, and the darkness as the light. For you have formed my inward parts. You have covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows well. My frame was not hid from you when I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance, yet being unformed, and in your book they were all written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. How precious also are your thoughts to me, O God! How great is the sum of them! If I should count them, they are more than the numbers of the sand. And when I awake, I am still with you. I'm going to jump down to the very end of the psalm. It just says, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. You just hear this beautiful relationship with God that David had just sort of unfold before us. And I hear in these words David say, listen, you know every single thing about me, and yet you still love me. You knew me before I was even a thought on this earth. And you know all my days from beginning to end, and yet you still love me. Isn't it amazing to have a relationship with God, with a God that knows us that intimately, knows all of our thoughts. And I don't know about you, but I have some good thoughts, and then I have some not so good thoughts, and yet he still loves us. God is just an amazing God. We are known by Him and still loved by Him. I want to encourage you to read Psalm 139 today and maybe a couple of times this week. And I want you to think about your relationship with God and how He knows everything about you. Even it says in this psalm, even when we make our bed in hell, you're still with us. So there's nowhere we can run from His presence. He has committed to never leave us and forsake us. Jesus didn't say, I'll never leave you and forsake you as long as you're good. I'll never leave you and forsake you as long as you don't screw up. Never leave you or forsake you as long as you don't have any bad thoughts. He just said, I'll never leave you and forsake you. And yet, at the end of this psalm, David takes us to a place where he cries out, says, okay, God, you know all these things about me, but would you search me and know my heart? Try me and know my anxieties. See if there's any wicked way in me, and then lead me in the way everlasting. In other words, would you help me with these areas of my life that are not so glorious, that are not so God-honoring? It's great to have a God that knows us so intimately and still loves us. Hey, this has been Pastor Carl with the word for today. Have a great day in the Lord and read Psalm 139. God bless.